Hello, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Americans. I want to take a few moments to talk about two words we often use interchangeably: freedom and liberty. These words sound alike, but they carry different meanings, and understanding that difference is essential if we want to preserve our republic. Defining freedom. Freedom, in its purest sense, is the absence of restraint. It means you can do what you want, go where you want, say what you want, without anyone standing in your way. Freedom is raw power, the ability to act on your own desires. But freedom without boundaries can quickly descend into chaos. If one person's freedom tramples another's rights, then what you really have is not liberty, but lawlessness. Defining liberty. Liberty, on the other hand, is freedom that has been recognized, structured, and protected by law. Liberty is ordered freedom. It is freedom within a framework that respects not just your rights, but the rights of your neighbor. The founders of this nation understood this distinction. They knew that liberty is not simply about doing whatever we please, it is about living in a society where rights are preserved, justice is upheld, and responsibility balances power. Key distinction. So here is the critical point: freedom is the raw ability to choose and act. Liberty is that freedom safeguarded in a society under the rule of law. Our Constitution was written not merely to guarantee freedom, but to secure liberty. That is why the preamble says, "To secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity." The Constitution is not a license to do anything, it is a covenant that protects rights and restrains government so that liberty can flourish for all. Historical perspective. Think about our history. The colonists declared independence not just for freedom, but for liberty. They wanted a government bound by law, not by the whims of a king. When the Bill of Rights was added, it enshrined liberties: freedom of speech, freedom of religion, the right to bear arms, due process of law. Each of these is freedom, but it is also liberty, because it is protected and structured in a way that allows individuals to live together without tyranny or anarchy. Why this matters today. Unfortunately, today we see confusion about this distinction. Some think freedom means I can do whatever I want, without any regard for how it affects others or for the rule of law. Others push so much control in the name of safety or equity that liberty is choked out entirely. Both extremes, unchecked freedom and overbearing control, are threats to the republic. What we need is a return to the true principle of liberty, ordered freedom, protected by law, guided by responsibility. And some may wonder why I don't speak more about the issues, why I don't spend every moment talking about taxes, healthcare, the economy, or foreign policy. The truth is this: without liberty, none of those issues would matter. Without liberty, you would not have the right to vote on those issues, speak freely about them, or hold leaders accountable for how they are handled. Liberty is the foundation. Without it, every other debate becomes meaningless. The responsibility of citizens. Liberty cannot survive without virtuous citizens. The founders believed that self-government requires self-discipline. If we want liberty, we must take responsibility, not just for ourselves, but for our families, our communities, and our nation. Liberty requires that we speak truth, even when it is unpopular. Liberty requires that we defend the rights of others, even when we disagree with them. Liberty requires that we hold government accountable, because unchecked power is the enemy of liberty. The Republic and its preservation. Benjamin Franklin, when asked what form of government the Constitutional Convention had produced, replied, "A republic, if you can keep it." That phrase is as true today as it was in 1787. A republic cannot be kept if we confuse freedom with liberty. If we mistake liberty for license, we will drift into chaos. If we surrender liberty for the false promise of security, we will fall into tyranny. Only by understanding the balance between freedom and liberty can we preserve the Republic for future generations. So what does this mean for us? It means we must recommit ourselves to the Constitution. We must teach our children that liberty is not just about rights, but about responsibilities. We must demand from our leaders a government that respects its limits, protects our liberties, and trusts the people to govern themselves. Let us be vigilant. Let us be courageous. And let us never forget that liberty is a blessing entrusted to us by God, secured by the blood of patriots, and preserved only when we, the people, defend it. Freedom is precious, but liberty is sacred. Freedom is the power to act, but liberty is the protection of that power under just laws. And it is our duty, not just for ourselves, but for future generations, to guard it, defend it, and pass it on. So when you hear me speak, know this: I speak about liberty first, because without it, no other issue matters. With liberty, we can debate and decide every issue together. Without liberty, we have nothing. Thank you, and may God bless the United States of America. Thanks for listening. Stay informed, stay free.